This is a possession style video whereby we look at each play in a drive. This is going to be the Lions' 10th possession where they really finished off the Falcons. Goff keeps it on a 3rd and goal from the 3 for a touchdown to cap a 7-play, 62-yard drive. Lions go up 20-3. Just prior to that, or one possession earlier, Goff had thrown an interception. Falcons were able to get down to, I think, the Lions' 38-yard line, something like that. Go for it on a 4th and 4. Incomplete pass to Drake London, I believe covered by Brian Branch, right side. Lions take over 4 consecutive runs to Jahmyr Gibbs. I put out a Jahmyr Gibbs video Monday night, late Monday night. I'll try to link it up in the description if you want to check it out. Just highlighting some of his play. I think it says a lot about how much they trust him. They're up 13-3 at that point. If they were to turn the ball over again, theoretically the Falcons could get a score and make it a 1-score game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 carries in a row. Were they trying to get him a touchdown? I don't know. I think they just trust him. And he was utilized on a multitude of concepts. Additionally, 2 catches to Amon-Ra St. Brown on this drive, and then Goff on the keeper. Let's get to the film. I like to do possession-style videos. Gives me a chance to show multiple concepts, talk about run plays, pass plays. Also challenges me to be versatile as a content creator. This is a drive starter here. I mean, it's to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who earlier in the week, I guess at one point was listed as questionable. Early 4th quarter, play-action boot, 21 personnel. So you got Kabinda and the running back going in that direction. Goff moving in that direction, booting off of it, away from the DN, putting this DN in severe conflict. Does he run down the line with the run, or does he veer off to Goff to take away the quarterback throw and then possibly risk a big cutback lane to the running back? Classic conflict it's been existent in good offensive football for decades. This is a somewhat new style look at it. The Broncos obviously utilized it in the late 90s first, I guess. Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back across the formation, breaking a tackle by 27, who's an underrated guy, if you ask me. Huge gain on 1st down. Then it becomes the Jahmyr Gibbs show. Gibbs, I think, downhill for 4 yards. The left guard and left tackle just deposit this D-tackle number 95. You're going to see him right here. Combo him. Get him out of there. He ends up on his knees. Brock Wright trying to hold this D-end out. The D-end's getting good extension. Can't compress the gap enough. You can see what's happened to the D-tackle over here. That was the front side D-tackle. Sewell is now working up to the linebacker level, 55. I think it only goes down as like a 4 or 5 yard gain to Gibbs. But it's a downhill run, an attitude starter. And to me, this was the moment, I think, when the Lions really started to bully the Falcons a little bit. We know that defensively, the Lions did, in fact, win the battle of physicality. I think they held the Falcons to 168 total yards. I believe it was 168 total yards. Offensively on this drive, they really started to get after them. Very next play, Gibbs for 12. Again, similar concept. This time, the tight end, Brock Wright, is going to pin down Bud Dupree, who I talked about in the video on Jahmyr Gibbs last night. I thought Bud Dupree played a really, really solid game. He's going to try to stem inside here. Brock Wright's just going to take him down, which just means move him in that direction. Let the running back flow or cut off of your block. And you can see Gibbs does that, puts his foot in the ground. Little skip jump cut back to the inside. He's trying to take this thing to the house. If he doesn't run into his own guy, he probably gets another 6 or 8 yards. I'm not saying he necessarily takes it back to the house, but again, a great combo block by Sewell and 73. Campbell getting, locked out here to the backside. Also creating a huge possibility for a cutback lane for Gibbs. You can see it developing here. I think this offensive line is as good as it gets, at least from what I've watched this year on film, which we're only through 3 games, and I tend to focus most of my analysis on the Ravens and then the Lions in that order. But this offensive line is as good as I've seen, and I understand they have at least one guy out. 12 yards, another downhill concept to Gibbs, keeping his feet churning, trying to finish off this team with an exclamation point. Very next play, 21 yards to Gibbs. Not necessarily a downhill concept, more of an outside zone type Track, cool matchup that I've talked about in the other video on Gibbs of Sewell against Calais Campbell. And I think you get an amazing job by the center here and the left guard. They're comboing the near side D tackle. So that's going to help get some expansion on that D tackle. And then the center is going to work up to the linebacker. So he's essentially getting 2 blocks on the same play. Sewell has sealed out Campbell, basically turned him back up the field. That little combo or chip from the center helped the left guard take over that D tackle. Gibbs bursts through. This time he gets away from 21. I think that's Flowers, 33. Used to play with the Bengals. Underrated football player, if you ask me. Able to get a hand on Gibbs. Otherwise, Gibbs might take that thing to the house. At this point, if you're a Lions fan, you're probably really enjoy it. Not on this film study, but I mean, in this point of the game, you're probably really enjoying the style of football because you're just hammering at them. You've stopped the run by the Falcons, number one, shutting down their biggest weapon, Bijan Robinson. And then number two, you're now running the ball directly at them and controlling the level of physicality of the play. 4th run in a row for Gibbs. This time, Brock Wright does not win his matchup against Bud Dupree. A little bit of obfuscation here by Ben Johnson. The matchup I'm talking about is Dupree versus Brock Wright. Man, I watched Dupree play for the Steelers for the better part of, I think, 2.5 years. Pre-knee injury, he was an explosive player to watch. A lot of fun to watch him play, even though I was a Ravens fan. And he obviously had some big moments against us. Seeing him now on his second team after leaving the Steelers, getting the opportunity in week 3 was pretty cool. That's just the way I look at the game. I'm glad to see guys get an opportunity, even if he used to play for the Steelers, and I'm a Ravens fan. A.J. Terrell also fills downhill. Jesse Bates is there as well. 4th run in a row for Gibbs. No gain. Creates a 2nd and goal. Motion left to right. Play action and a little check X out to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ball's thrown a little short, maybe. St. Brown catches it against Flowers, who, again, I've said for years is an underrated guy. The Bengals utilized him in a lot of man coverage against tight ends here. He's matched up against St. Brown. Clean catch out to the sideline. Creates a 3rd and goal from the 3. Gibbs is back on after a 1-play rest. He's going to cross Goff's face. Additionally, Laporta is going to go in motion. And I don't know, man, if he's reading this, if he's reading Campbell, well, first of all, if he's reading Campbell, that means him and Goff read it differently. But second of all, he reads it awful quick. I almost think this is a planned juke outside by Laporta. But then also he gets around Campbell and goes and gets the safety. So if they're reading Campbell, let's say Campbell was to run upfield for some odd reason, then this would be a give, clearly, for Jared Goff. He should give the football, and Gibbs should be trying to cut it, either hit it front side like the arrow that I have drawn here, or wind it back underneath of Laporta's kickout block and the backside offensive lineman. We'll give you the end zone angle to show you the opposite view. If they're both reading it, which I think Goff is, and he goes inside of this block, then Goff takes it outside for the touchdown, which is exactly what happens. But if Laporta is reading this that quickly on the motion, because normally, in my experience, when you're getting this ball snapped and it's a read, it'd be snapped a little bit earlier. Laporta, you can see here, is between the right guard and right tackle. Can't really slow this down. I can just pause it a couple of times. If he's reading Campbell here, this is an extremely quick read, and you've got a tight end who not only can play receiver and win catches downfield, win one-on-one opportunities on 3rd down against outside corners, can block well on the inside. He can also read the dual read option while on the move. It's incredible. I'm not saying he didn't do it. It just seems awful fast for him to do so. You may have gotten your 2 best picks in the 2nd round, which is unbelievable because I think Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell are great football players. Just a quick look at the Lions' 10th possession to close out the Falcons, some of the concepts they used to do it. Seemed like they decided to use the run game to drive the hammer all the way down on them. Nice finish, even though they did give up a field goal later for it to be 20-6. I feel like their defense kind of went a little bit soft on that ensuing possession where the Falcons were able to go downfield. You guys let me know what you think of the breakdown, what you think of some of the plays I talked about, including the dual read there between Laporta and Goff. Appreciate you guys' time. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments section. And please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.